This is the review of Denny's restaurants, one of their products that I think he may have been a regular viewer of mine because when I was having morning coffee leeward on 7-Eleven, I made a video. I was just kind of dicking around, it's, uh, checking on the voicemail thing, analyzing that. And guy comes up and actually backs in so he can take. A lot of people like to back in so he can take off straight and not have to worry about a collision around here because of the crazy driving. But he gets out and he has a perfectly packaged. It's still slightly warm. It's had almost 2 hours to chill. We're about at 50 degrees, something like that. I don't think we're going to get higher than 60 today. I don't think. But I'm totally stumped. I'm super picky. Open air. See, only the meal produced a little, mucus, which you just heard. And actually, anytime you lean your head forward, you'll produce mucus, sometimes drip. And, Denny's in the past had a reputation for racism, got sued over it by some black FBI agents, and had a reputation of kind of being the greasy spoon all night diner where drug dealers would hang out in kind of one of the back sections and deal drugs. But I don't know because, see, this is Pflugerville, Texas. I know enough about chain restaurants, especially lately. Each and every franchise holder may hold much higher standards, and they can actually, since Denny's has had financial problems or whatever because of the lawsuits and other, he may have more leeway. Like over at 7-Eleven, he's got to buy all his products from 7-Eleven. He can't go out and go to Costco and actually maybe even get a better deal on a product that rarely sells in his place and stuff. He's actually been completely reshaped the entire, since the corporate citations and stuff, he's redone the inside. He's reduced the amount of stuff that don't sell. There's only one item out there. Reduced the amount of stock, reduced the number out. Because that place was a cluttered up, trashed up mess when I first got here. And Pflugerville's a clean town. And I don't mean trashed up by Austin standards. I mean trashed up by Pflugerville cleanliness standards, which is still tolerable to most travelers. But I'm really stumped. I mean, it's very cautious. And it said, it actually was, he said it was grilled fish, but it wasn't grilled on an open grill, no grilling marks. It was grilled on a flat steel slab. And so I was very careful, and I'm still stumped. That was an expensive meal. I think it was kind of supposed to be a heart healthy or healthy. It was the only thing that showed sign of contamination was automatically I went to the kind of, you could tell that might be garlic bread. It was good French bread from a big baguette, and only a hint of garlic to it. That went to the birds. Those chips are still there. Those grackles will not eat canola oil, and now they're about to get a test, but I'll eventually, in a little while, I'll take one Imodium to make sure. To tell you the truth, I was really kind of convinced to go ahead, and because there was 2 separate trays in the box, it was still, condensation was all in place, meaning it hadn't been opened. When you open a box that has fresh hot shit in it, it causes condensation on top of the box. If you open it even once, it leaves streaks before the condensation it had never been opened from the time it was packaged at Denny's. Please, you're talking to Sherlock now, okay? Dr. Watson. And so that was probably what that was had to be wild caught salmon. So actually, after tossing the garlic bread, I took a little nibble of the salmon, and it was I couldn't tell what kind of oil. There was a little bit of oil underneath it. Well, actually, all the oil had kind of run off to the side from that had been on it from the grill. There was some stuff on the top, but it really wasn't. There was no garlic. There was no really discernible. It was mostly just kind of added for appearance or whatever. It wasn't, a little bit of, and so it's just this. And at that point, I removed, and I saw that there was looked like supposed to be kind of a stir-fried rice mix with zucchini and squash, and I noticed 3 good-sized strips of onion, and that was the real convincer for me to kind of continue ahead experimenting. Was I picked up and put that onion to my Jew nose. That was a Texas Aggie grown and low sulfur soil 1015. That's October 15th. 1015 patented onion seed. This may have been one of their non-GMO meals. This is salmon, garlic bread with very little garlic, not too strong. And I'm still not sure of the oil. I ain't going to run the risk of tasting the bread and stuff because they may not have made the bread. Get me? They're not a bakery. But they may have added, it may have actually come prepackaged. The salmon was obviously probably vacuum seal, cryovac kind of. So don't worry, I'm at 7 minutes, but I'm going to continue the stir fried look. And I kept tasting, pick them up one at a time. Squash, zucchini. There was also, I forgot, broccoli. And this is already going into, because I actually finished off the salmon first. Because salmon is so oily that toxic vegetable oil, which I was getting nothing. The oil had no odor, and really the worst of the toxic vegetable oils can't be deodorized during the 560 degree Fahrenheit heating, which is one of the first steps of processing that oil and stuff. It's, soybean, cottonseed oil, even canola, palm oil. Oh gosh, palm oil. If it really has, palm oil is even more disgusting than cottonseed. Separate cottonseed oil, separate soybean oil. That stuff is disgusting. I'm still getting my palate is. They're getting usually the aftertaste. I just couldn't. But one of the things was that they actually bought what had to be. I'm sorry, that's got to be a 1015 because if it's one of the stanky, big jumbo, Bermuda yellow onions, there's going to be a strong odor even after, and it wasn't caramelized, it was translucent. You can tell it had been, cooked fully. And it should still, if it was like really toxic, it should have a strong odor. And the rice mixture was real fascinating because immediately I go, shit, that's short grain rice. That's either, jasmine or some basmati. And then they also had a rare type of rice in there that had been micro milled. And that's what actually tells me that rice had to be cooked separately from the other rice because they have different cooking times. You get my drift? Like, think about how long it takes for you to cook brown rice, okay? And compared to white rice. And there was these little like seed looking things in there, and I'm looking at up close and stuff, and they look like a kind of a young baby version of maybe of the black beans that Chinese, well, there's different types though, that the Chinese use to make their uh, black bean paste and so on, but didn't have a strong taste, didn't have any offensive taste at all. There was a little testing here and there, and I ate everything except the three. It was actually pretty good sized little strips of onion. I think they're mostly there is kind of a give you the impression it's, but no real onion flavor, not strong on spices at all. It's really uh, totally suitable for what I call the Anglo-Texan palate. We may have people who came here after my people may have created one of the most toxic diets on earth known as Tex-Mex. What you people call Mexican food actually was invented in Texas. You know, really, once you get past like border areas, once you get into Mexico, you'll find that they're really not that real Mexicans that have really no intention of ever coming here. And they don't really eat that much pepper, chilies, and they really, most of the time, a lot of the Hispanic, they prefer the salsa verdes, which doesn't have any heat to it at all, no capsaicin, as opposed to salsa rojo, red sauce. And it's really, that's Mexican cuisine is not Tex-Mex. You know, they're not that, despite what you see in movies, they're not them pepper belly, chili picking, I live off of, I eat, 140 cloves of garlic and hot peppers a day. They really not like that. That's my personal experience. So far, I'll find out, although the Imodium may stop any reaction, is so far I got to give for taste and restriction of toxic spices a thumbs up to Denny's. I don't know what you'd call it, like grilled salmon, garlic bread, and stir-fried rice and vegetables that were clearly not stir-fried. They were prepared in a special way because of different. Well, of course you do boil your rice before you fry it, so it wasn't really, and the vegetables didn't have that more crisp stir-fried flavor. They were carefully prepared, and I have no idea what the oil is. The oil was not offensive at all. So, yeah, at this point, until I see symptoms in the, like Sheldon Cooper from Texas, yes. It's the Big Bang Theory. I think that's what it's called, yeah. So that was a surprise, which tells me this guy probably is one of my regular viewers. He knew not to bring me something. I told him, I warned him, if, that don't be offended. Don't be offended if you see me putting it, if you're driving around like some people do. They drive around, they watch me. The store owner told me finally the other day that he's actually up and out by 4 a.m. doing drive arounds before he comes in at 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. So, my review on the Denny's salmon with stir-fried vegetables and rice. So far, thumbs up. It was kind of open like one food truck review that I did for my Facebook page, which you ain't gonna find. That's the way she did it. She had a vast array of salsas and she just used one little hint of paprika while cooking the strips of beef for the beef tacos, flour tortillas. Because when you think of taco, you think corn. No, actually, the folded taco is the best of my recollection. The folded tostada is what it is. Was invented in Texas. It's when Taco Bell went to Mexico. The Mexicans said, "No, you're taco tostada. That's why are you folding the tostadas?" It's hilarious. Anyway, we'll see, and I'll get around to taking just one Imodium. Yeah, it's been a while since I took one yesterday morning after the initial, so I may have actually taken two after the loose one, but I'll take one to make sure that it stays solid. But right now, regards to toxicity from somebody who has the senses to judge them, don't this smoking doesn't. I'm barely even. Please, I'm a really. Uh, so whoever's managing the local Denny's here, I'd say doing a good job. You presented a meal that I would have trouble rejecting on basis of any kind of, you know, objectionable flavors or aromas or spice, or except I certainly would tell them no garlic bread. Or so that's it. That's my review of a meal from Denny's in Pflugerville, Texas.